This is for Crazy Girl 81. By the way, if you were born in 1981, so was I. I thought that it would be cool to do a little charm reading for you and see if your guides have anything to relay through this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. All right. I don't read charms upside down, so I'm just kind of flipping them. Okay, now, excuse me. What we have for the way I read these is the center here is what I would consider to be the very recent past, or like what we're dealing with currently. And then as we go further out toward the edge, that's going to be your future. Obviously, the further away we get from the center, the further the future is, okay? So let's get going. So I'm just finishing this now. That's why the lighting's different. But just wanted to kind of explain what all these mean to you and what I'm receiving. So this right here is obviously the Reaper. And on this one, for you right now, I'm seeing the death of old parts of you and maybe beliefs that didn't serve you, things you've outgrown. So this, in this instance, it's death in a very good way, okay? And this right here, being so close to it, is wonderful because the snake for me represents just shedding skin, shedding old parts of yourself and coming out with a bigger, better, brighter version of you. And this is just going to keep happening. Both of these together, I feel like you're not quite done with, you know, the death of old parts of you and new parts of you being born. So if there's some impatience there to be done with this process, go ahead and settle in, and it's a good thing. So don't be like, you know, I feel like there's some impatience there wanting to just kind of be done with that part, but it's not quite done with you. So another thing that's really important here, I love how these two are together. So this one right here, you see the moon phases, and then you see a peaceful night with some nice pine trees and mountains, just very serene. So what this charm represents for me is a night of peace and stillness, and obviously not just one night, but a period of peace and stillness. And for you, I think you're going to need this to process all of the things that, these things right here, that's huge, to have old parts of yourself that you're letting go of and new parts being born, or being brought forth, I should say. You need to process that, and you need to give yourself that space. So as often as you can, just go inward, be still in your mind, still with yourself. So as few distractions as possible when you can do this. You know, put the phone and TV down, just kind of be with yourself and just allow yourself to process and be easy with yourself in whatever that needs to look like. And this, this right here, what this represents to me is a balance in the elements. And these two together is really neat. What this means is that you might have some witchiness going on within you. I think earth is going to be a good way to help you. I'm trying to hold this phone as still as possible. I think earth is going to help you with this part, the going inward and everything. I think the more you can be outside with your feet on the earth, allowing that all this energy that's been floating around in you, you need to ground that out, be with the earth, let it take all that excess and energy that you're kind of moving away and moving out and away from you. Let that earth take it and ground it for you, because that's what it does best. And then invite new, fresh, clean energy that's already been cleansed through the earth back into you. So this is really important for you. This right here is pretty interesting. Like this Once Upon a Time, although that looks, you know, like a fairy tale book, this particular charm for me though is actually represents something that's either too good for you to believe it or too good to be true. It could go either way. It could be something that is great, but you can't quite fully believe in it. I don't think that's the case here though, because see how it's right here? This is my charm for just caution and to be careful with something and to look at it really closely. So these two together tells me something that maybe seems too good to be true is something you need to be cautious of, okay? This right here, this is kind of secondary to all this stuff, but worth mentioning. So this is my representation of family. And if you see down here, this ladder for me represents something that you've got to kind of earn, something you've got to kind of climb up to. And it's right under family. And you got the female symbol here. So I'm not sure if it's a mom or a sister, an aunt or somebody, but I feel like either you can go to somebody for help in your family or maybe to kind of repair something that's right there. I'm going to let you figure out what that means to you. But this little crystal here, I just randomly have these in there. This one is just kind of aiding in this. It's bringing in some nice, clean energy here to help with this situation. And this could literally be just you going to somebody for advice, however you want to read that. 2018 for me represents a realization of something I'd wanted for a long time. Around 5 years, and 2018 is when I received that. So keep that in mind in this reading, or 2018, this might be the literal year as it pertains to you. This right here, I always love seeing this. This is a little champagne glass of bubbly. And for me, this is representing something to be celebrated. And I think that whatever this is, it's in the nearish future. So I would probably say in the next, I don't know, within the next 6 months probably. If there's something that comes up for you to celebrate, I want you to just really relish in that celebration, okay? It's a big deal that you kind of go all the way with letting yourself celebrate this. I'm so sorry. Okay. This right here, and this might very well be related to this, but this right here, this hand, what it represents for me, I don't really believe in negativity. I can explain that more later in my videos, but this represents for me like unwanted, or what other people might call negativity. And it's covering up the lovers, as you can see. And the way that it's covering it like this, it's almost like taking it down or literally blocking it. Be looking out for that. I feel like there's some unwanted stuff that could be taking down a relationship, or at the very least, causing a pretty big cloud over it. This represents balance for me. So I kind of feel on here that maybe the balance, let me think on this a minute. Some balance could actually help with this. Okay. And again, take that as you mean it. So if this situation arises in the next 6-8 months or so, be looking for how balance could help with that situation. And finally, this over here, this guy, I always love to see this one come up. This unicorn skeleton for me represents a dream, a long-standing dream that has basically been starved, but it's not completely dead. So there's still hope, but it hasn't received love in a long time. And whenever I see this, I feel like it's time to revive that dream. It's time to pull out that dream that maybe you didn't think was possible, or that you had just given up on, and send that dream some love and start thinking about it again. And this right here, this one usually represents travel, but it doesn't always mean it's going to be like actual physical traveling. This could be a journey within yourself, but it's usually a long one, because this is the entire world here. So I'm going to let you feel that one out. If that be looking for an opportunity to physically travel, but I'm thinking this is more metaphorical in this one. So anyway, yeah. So there's your Charmcast reading. I hope that brought a little bit of clarity.